Hi, Emily. What brings you in today?
So I just wanted to talk about my new boyfriend and what's going on with us right now.
Okay. How long have you been with your new boyfriend?
So it's a new relationship. We started dating probably 4.5 months ago.
Okay. And what's going on with you guys?
It's hard because for something so new, I don't think that we should be fighting the amount that we fight right now. And in the first couple months, we didn't really fight at all, and it just feels like now, like and I never know, like it's becoming too much.
hmm So you guys have been fighting a lot more recently, but not in the first little while. What are you guys fighting about?
Yeah, like I don't even know, like it's so hard. It's such little things. Like it's um one of the big things for me, I think, is tone of voice. So he never really says cruel things to me, but the way that he says them is like pretty scathing. And I've always thought that you should talk to someone calmly and without shaming, and I really have a problem with his tone, but it feels like he doesn't even understand how he's coming across. He also
hmm
um his lifestyle. So I live in Kelowna, and it's a wine based industry, and he works at a winery. So his lifestyle is really revolves around wine and going out and socializing. And he just drinks not a lot more than I do.
So he doesn't drink a lot more than you do,
No,
or
he
he
does.
does?
He does.
He
Yeah.
does. Oh, okay. Um, and is that something that you guys have been arguing about lately?
Yeah. Like I, I think I might have to let go because I like fully understand that until someone's ready to quit something, you can't force it on them. But, and it's not even the amount he drinks, it's the person. I feel like he's a little bit meaner when he does drink. And
hmm
I've always been someone who's super ambitious and and always want to move forward in life, and I feel like sometimes drinking kind of keeps you stagnant. I mean, you're spending money when you could be spending it on other things. Like you're drinking when you could be at the gym or could be reading a book, or that part's almost harder on me than the drinking itself, if that makes sense.
hmm And so you also said that the scathing remarks are also a point, a part that you don't like. Does that only happen when he's drinking?
That's a really good question. No, and that's like, so yes, a lot more. Don't get me wrong, a lot more when he's drinking, um,
hmm
because he just gets like, I don't know, like I would say almost rude, but sometimes when he's frustrated when he's sober. So it only happens when he's frustrated, but he'll almost snap off on me for nothing, and and it's such a tonal issue. Like it's just the way that he says things is like to me very shaming, and I'm so talking to someone calmly and in a kind and respectful manner is so important to me, especially with my background in counseling and wanting to become a psychologist. So it's hard on me. It's really hard on me, and it's something I feel like I can't stand for. It's very important to me.
Okay. Yeah. So also with the ambitious part of you that wants probably to like you said, going to the gym and doing all of those productive things, does the frustration for him also come out when maybe he's hungover or the
Yeah, like
next day after?
yeah. Sorry, he doesn't even get hungover. This is what's so funny. So it's not like he doesn't really get hungover, because he works and he just like this is his lifestyle and he's kind of used to it. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I just think that like I really want a partner in life who wants be the best version of themselves, I guess. So who wants to be as healthy as they can be, and who wants to, as cliche as it sounds, read self-help books, and who wants, like I know socializing is important and I don't discount that, but I do think a really high level of it does take away from like building a life together and saving our money and like talking about our goals. I think that for me, drinking a lot kind of keeps you in the same spot.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I hear you saying like these are some points that you guys have been arguing about, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
He
Sorry.
just, no, he just is kind of like, I think now almost rebelling against me talking about the drinking. He also smokes. And so I'm making out, he's a very nice guy. I feel bad that I'm making him fun.
No.
Very, very kind. But so I kind of feel like at this point I've been nagging him too much about, and ironically, like I know that the last thing you should be doing is like nagging someone to quit when they don't want to quit. But I think it's gotten to the point where he's like almost rebelling against it,
Mm-hmm.
feeling like he can't do anything right. And I don't want to make him feel that way. And like before I came into the picture, I think he was drinking and smoking way more. So from his perspective, it's like he's changed so much and I just keep kind of hounding him. But from my perspective, it's still a really high level of drinking and smoking. So we're just not, it sometimes feels like not only are we not on the same page, like we're not even in the same book. Like we're, like we're not getting each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So there's like a lot of disconnection between what you want and what he's doing. And that's causing a lot of stress for both of you, it sounds.
Yeah. And it's like, it's hard for two reasons. One, because it's like you remember when you were fighting, so you almost feel like, why can't we go back to that? Why can we go back to that? I do feel though, like when we weren't fighting, I was going out a lot and I was like almost disregarding my school. Before I met him, I was going to the gym 6 days a week and then I stopped going to the gym. So I feel like I was giving away parts of myself. And I get it. It's the beginning of the relationship. It's really fun. You want to be around them all the time. But I worry that he fell in love with someone who I'm not.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, like in the beginning, for both of you, it was really, you guys were showing each other like parts of each other that you maybe liked about each other, only to start getting a little bit more serious and showing actual parts of yourself, right?
Yeah, and like, yeah, I think he was always I think he always presented who he was. So that's really good of him. I don't think I did. Like, I think that there was a lot of times in my head where I'd be like, oh, I really should be doing school right now. Like I shouldn't be going out, but he would want to go for a drink or dinner. Like, and I did. And like, I was fully aware that I went from 6 days a week at the gym to none. And so it just started to bother me more and more. So I think the more that I'm now trying to kind of come back to center with the things that are important to me, like school is important to me. I have a full-time job and I'm fully in school. So trying to balance it is really hard. The gym's really important to me. Like nights off and nights going to bed at 9 are really important to me, especially with like working late on weekends with the restaurant. So I feel like I wasn't myself. And now that I am becoming more of myself, I don't know if he likes this version of me.
Mm-hmm. So how are things when things are going well?
They're great. Like that's a weird part. Like when things are good, they're really, really good. We get along really well. Like I do feel like I can be completely myself around him, personality wise, make each other laugh. Like we're really comfortable around each other. Our sex life is great, but it's just these weird fights come kind of out of nowhere and then become bigger issues than they should be. And for me, it's like, I don't understand why. Again, I think we're just like, like you said, there's a disconnect there, but like, just don't talk to me in a rude way. Like to me, it's such an easy fix. I just don't understand it. Like like I think that would be the one thing now that we're talking about it that matters the most. Like I completely understand with like any sort of like drinking or smoking. I do feel like he is trying. I know he's trying. I know he drinks way, way less with me. And I think with smoking, I think he'll quit when he's ready. But it is like I always really feel like when you love someone, you have to be kind to them. And so the tone stuff like really, really is the main thing for me.
What does it tell you that when he does use a tone of voice that you don't like? Or,
Yeah, that's, I haven't ever really explored that. I think it's almost shaming. I think I really have a
Mhm.
problem with feeling shamed. Um, and it like, so I'm so like exuberant. I don't know. I might start to cry. I don't know why. I'm so like exuberant, and I get really overexcited, and sometimes I feel like I'm like a big balloon, and then he says something and I just get deflated. Like, just like, it's like, that's the feeling. Like the feeling is like all the energy's been taken out of me.
Mhm. I can tell that, yeah, like it's making you feel that right now. Hey, just remembering that.
I didn't even, I didn't see this coming, but yeah, it's like, it's, yeah, even talking about it makes me feel that way. Like, it's really hard to explain because it should, like, it's only one sentence. Like, it's not even like he's doing it constantly. I'll just say one thing or I'll get overexcited. And he kind of like, it's almost like talking down to me. And I just, yeah, it really takes the air out of my sails. Like, it's like, and then I can't recover. Like, that's the other thing too. Like, I know that sometimes I should just like let some of this like water off a duck's back, but it feels like once he's done it, I'm so like deflated that I can't get out of my own head at that point. And that's why probably these fights get bigger, because I can't recover from it.
Mhm. Is he the only one that's ever done that to you? Is this the first?
Yeah. Boyfriend wise,
Mhm.
yes, probably. I think in jobs though, like I'm in a really like I'm a manager of a restaurant in Kelowna, and I've been in the industry for a long time, and you're always going to be talked down to by males. It's just a really male dominated industry, and most of my managers have always been, and I was always kind of shamed for my emotionality. I think
Mhm.
a lot of my interview, a lot of my not even interviews. I don't know, when they would sit me down and talk about how I was doing performance reviews. Um, they would say like I would always be called too emotional, too emotional, too emotional. Um, so I think that and that was that shaming feeling, like, because it is just a part of who I am, my emotionality. So that would really make me feel shame. Yeah, I just hate the feeling of shame. I hate it.
Mhm. Mhm. And why is it shame that shame it about the amount of emotion that you're expressing, or?
Yeah, I think it's just when I think that you should never, as a human being, kind of attack someone at their core or
Mhm.
their personality. Like, I think that for me, like things like smoking and drinking are habits or actions,
Mhm.
but they're not who Grayson is. And I think when
Mhm.
I get overexcited and he tells me to calm down or like gets frustrated with me, like that's who I am as a person. So I think that's the part that
Mhm.
feels shaming to me. Like you make me feel almost embarrassed to be
Mhm.
who I am.
Yeah. So in those moments when after um, after you've been deflated, um, how do you express to him that that's happened?
Oh, so I lose. Um, I'll shut down. Like, first I'll just say like, I don't know why you had to say that like that. Like it like hits me instantly, and I have a feeling of like, ugh, like punched in the gut. And then I just say like, well, I mean, why did you have to say that like that? And then I shut down. Like, I can't talk to him. I can't, I'm so angry on the inside, but I don't really say anything. And then of course he'll pick up on the fact that I'm not talking, and then we fight. Like, it always becomes a bigger fight.
Mhm. How frequently is this happening?
I would say once every like 4 to 5 days, but I think it feels maybe even a week, but it feels bigger because the fights seem to last a couple days after. Like, we can't ever seem to have a small fight. Like, it'll become a bigger issue.
Mhm. Well, it sounds like that can be really taxing for and take up a lot of your guys' time together, right?
Yeah, and because we're separate, so he works 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. I work nights, so we already have separate schedules. So
Mhm.
it's hard, and it's very easy. we're both very stubborn. So if I'm having, I call it pulling a shutdown, but we don't really talk like very much. Like it'll be 4 or 5 texts a day. So we can go a day or two without really talking. And that is really hard on me. Like communication is so important to me. And so it seems like we always kind of make it worse by like how we act after the fact. Because the things that he's saying aren't even that bad. Like half the time it's just like he's frustrated or he's overtired but we can't seem to deal with it in a healthy functioning way, I guess.
And because of your values, being able to communicate, and that's really me, like that's making, sorry. You're kind of getting to ready to let it go, like you said earlier on.
Yeah, like you mentioned my values and communicating, and I can't even express to you how important that is. Like I always want to talk to the person I love or my partner. For one, I want it to be a 50-50 partnership, and I want there to be a lot of respect there. And so I want us to communicate to each other, even when there's conflict, in a loving way and in a way that's constructive. And so that's why the snap offs are so hard on me, or the tone, because it's not constructive and it makes me feel disrespected.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So where, do you know, okay. Sorry, are we good with 10 minutes?
I think so.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'll stop it.